Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a very special episode and edition of the BOOM. My name is Cam G, of course, your host, as always. The man to the right of me, that is my co-host Phil Kahn, and the man of the bottom of your screen, that's my co-host / producer Metalcore Mike. Gentlemen, we are joined here yet again for another Wednesday night and to discuss Wednesday Night Dynamite, the Go Home before AEW Dynasty. This is our AEW Dynasty Prediction Show / brief rundown of the Go Home episode of Dynamite tonight. But before I get into that, how is your Wednesday evening going?
It was a beautiful day out today. I went outside and I touched some grass.
As a wrestling fan, normally doesn't know how to do, Mike did that today, and it was an amazing day. I appreciate that, good sir.
Yeah, that just caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting to say that.
I mean,
wrestling fans should learn how to do.
Here's the thing: is something that I haven't made very public in the past couple months, but something I haven't been too afraid to talk about publicly in the past couple days. Is the fact that I've been out of work for the past couple months. You know, the company I last worked for, they shut down, went unemployed, and just took some time off to kind of reassess and recuperate and everything like that. Because guys, unfortunately, I'm getting old and I'm falling apart. Some people know this, that I have major back issues. So taking some time off to kind of recoup my body from the whole thing of being beat up. I'm having problems with my neck, my shoulders, carpal tunnel, my hands, and everywhere else. You know, it's crazy. So I took some time. I'm going back to work tomorrow. So I'm kind of excited, nervous at the same time. But you know, in my time off, I didn't leave the house as much as I probably should have. So today I went out and I touched some grass, went outside. You know, I did leave the house in the time, you know, being off, but not as much as I probably should have because I really didn't have much to do, you know? So I went out, touched some grass today, went and did some shopping to get myself ready for tomorrow. And yeah, so I thought I'd catch you guys off guard by saying I went outside and touched some grass today.
I don't know why that caught me. I just did. I was not expecting you to say that.
I love it, man. I love it.
Good.
I mean, I'll admit I was pretty lazy these past couple months. I mean, my days were wake up at any time I wanted to, played video games, watched movies, and yeah, that was it. I tried not to sleep as late as as late because I didn't want to waste my days away. But you know, I should have went outside more than I did. I still went outside, but you know, should have done that more than. Other thing is, it was dead winter time too. Like, who wants to fucking go outside in the winter time when it's like 10 degrees out? You know,
I mean,
who does? And it was like 60. It was like 50, 55, 60 degrees out today. It was beautiful out, and I was like, I'm gonna go outside and touch some grass. Yeah, so I did. So,
well, gentlemen, we are going to get into our very brief, really, Go Home episode of Dynamite before AEW Dynasty, and we get into our AEW Dynasty predictions. Tonight, I think, was awful, honestly. It was really not a great show, and not a great Go Home show, if you ask me. We start off, now, for whatever reason, well, I know why, but it's still random. Alex Windsor and Marina Shafir are going to face each other at Dynasty on the Dynasty kickoff show. So those two, and of course Ospreay and Moxley at the top of the show, top of the hour, were involved in some massive brawl. But instead of Ospreay being outnumbered as he was last week by the Death Riders, he had some backup. He had Alex Windsor and the new IWGP World Champion, and whoever that was. I found out who they were later on. They were, a part of United Empire. And what not have you. But of course, before I knew that, I really didn't know any of these people. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't know why that is so hard of a concept for Tony Khan to understand, but I don't know any of these people. They stood on both sides of, their respective aisle lanes or whatever. Looked like freaking SmackDown versus Raw from like 2006 Survivor Series. That's what it looked like to me. So a very SmackDown versus Raw Survivor Series 2006-esque brawl in the parking lot to start off Dynamite. I was just like, I don't know any of these people outside of Ospreay and Alex Windsor on that side of things. So yeah, very random. I don't think it added anything to the match, either match, the pre-show match with Windsor and Shafir, or Ospreay and Moxley for now officially for the Continental Championship. But it was really, I think it was really just to set up the multi-man tag team match that was basically the main event match. We had a main event segment, but the main event match, last match we saw before we saw the segment was Kenny Omega and MJF. But I'm gonna get your guys' thoughts on this, if any. Phil, I'm gonna start with you.
I've seen Akira before, so like when I saw him, I was like, oh, okay, that's a little bit of a nice thing to see him be a part of all of this with the whole United Empire thing. But I mean, it was just kind of like a chaotic start to everything. You know, I realistically didn't even think that they were going to be adding anybody into any of this between Mox and Osprey, but it was a nice little nod, I guess, to what Osprey has kind of built himself up for with the United Empire. Nice little callback to that. But other than that, this is just a massive brawl, just for the sake of a massive brawl to kick off the show, which would lead into the main event match of the night. So it is what it is, but they had to get a little bit of physicality, I guess, is what Tony Khan was thinking. So they said, why not just let them brawl? There you go.
There you have it. Mike, your thoughts?
I mean, did it add anything for this Sunday? No, it didn't. I mean, again, like Phil said, nice little callback to where Will Ospreay came from, and that was, you know, United Kingdom, United Empire,
United
whatever the
Empire,
name was.
yeah.
Sure. Okay, great callback. But you know, the one missing piece of the puzzle, missing piece of the puzzle, obviously, is
I would say that too.
Kyle Fletcher, because he was part of that group as well. So yeah, it just didn't add anything to it, and I guess hats off to Tony Khan for making Alex Windsor and Marina Shafir, who are going to be on the 0 hour, feel a little bigger, because we know the 0 hour matches don't get that big feel to them. Ever. So I guess hats off. Again, Cam, I think I can answer your question here of Tony Khan's logic of giving us these wrestlers that, you know, his mindset is I watched everything when I was younger. I still watch everything to this day. So I'm going to put people on TV, whether people know who they are or not. I don't give a shit. I know who they are. I'm fans of them. I'm going to throw them on. He doesn't give a shit whether I watch New Japan or not, you watch New Japan or not, or whether Phil watches New Japan or anybody watches New Japan. He's a fan of them. It's his playhouse. He's going to go and buy the toys that he wants to bring into his show, and that's that. I will say this. Though. Good on him for trying to kind of keep Dynasty what Dynasty was originally supposed to be, because a Dynasty, when we first got that pay-per-view, it was originally supposed to be like an AEW versus New Japan Pro Wrestling type of deal. Then it just turned into an all-out AEW pay-per-view in the past 2 years. So I to try and give us that as well, hats off to him. But Tony Khan he's going to continue doing this because, again, it's his playhouse, and he doesn't give a shit whether any of us know who some of these people are or not. So, yeah.
That's fair enough. The next thing to, I guess, skim over. Darby went. Well, he was in a 6-man against Andrade in a 6-man tag match. Brody was supposed to be in this match, but he was replaced. He was taken out for personal reasons. And his tag team partner Bandito was the one to replace him. So again, what we started last week with Jack Perry and Brody King being put in this, we're still kind of going with that. I think they're still going to be involved with this, and Darby and this storyline, I guess. Or I don't. They still need to make sense of that per se.
A lack of a storyline, I should say.
A lack of storyline. I probably should. It's probably a better way of putting it. So probably getting no explanation there, as Phil said last week. I mean, probably not, or maybe that was just done to set up this 6-man tonight. I don't know, but overall, I mean, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense last week. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense this week either. But they had a 6-man. The 6-man was actually not half bad. I will say that though. The 6-man I think it got better the longer it went on. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't half bad. The contrast, I think, of styles with Andrade and Darby will be very interesting to see. Just seeing them two face to face is just odd to me, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just those are two guys I just never thought would be wrestling ever. You know, it's just just interesting. So I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on that. To me, the only thing I could take away from this is just that stare down, that face to face I just talked about with Darby and Andrade, that brief little moment they had there, I think is very interesting because it's going to be a very interesting clash of styles when they face one-on-one at Dynasty. Mike, I'm gonna start with you.
I'm going to be honest with you. I stepped away from this match.
You didn't miss much. You didn't miss much.
I missed it.
It was like 11 minutes. It really wasn't anything all that special.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest right now. This show was not the greatest, and I was fighting to stay awake. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go and try and wake myself up a little bit. That's what it did. That's what it did, honestly.
Honestly, like we said, like you didn't really miss much with this. It was a good 11 minutes just to have a 6-man tag team match be a 6-man tag team match. I mean, obviously, from what it looked like, it was definitely going to, from what happened last week with Brody King and Jack Perry being involved with Darby Allin, it looked like it was definitely setting up the 6-man tag. But because Brody King had to step away for personal reasons, hopefully everything is all good in terms of that. They just have to replace him with Bandito, who's the tag team partner, and that's just what it was. I'm glad the Don Callis family won here, mainly because it ultimately got Andrade a somewhat decent win heading into the pay-per-view, because right now, Andrade, I don't care what anybody says, has been putting on some of the best work of his entire career, heck, his entire life, ever since coming back to AEW. And I think ultimately Andrade needs to continue on with this momentum as much as he possibly can. The match at Dynasty, I know we're going to be getting into our predictions, but that match at Dynasty between Darby and Andrade is probably one of the most intriguing matches that I personally have for this show, just not only because of the clash of styles, but because of the trajectory of both where Andrade and Darby can go after this match is said and done. So I'm very much looking forward to that, and we'll see where that all shapes out.
Also, I think at one point the Don Callis family did come out and get involved in this, and then we finally saw a massive breakdown between the relationship. I mean, it was already crumbling as it was with Takeshita and Okada. Finally, just saying screw it. We're not even going to try to work this out because we're a part of the same group, and finally just slugging it out. Like I mean, this is long overdue. I mean, we had the rest of the rest of the Don Callis family members break them up. I think it was great. It didn't really get to me. I feel like it should have gotten a bigger reaction to me, because this is a big moment. This is a big step in their feud. So I feel like it should have gotten a bigger reaction. You kind of got the boo chance when Takeshita would hit Okada and Okada would hit Takeshita, but that was pretty much about it. It wasn't like some massive, all overly deafening pop when they just started slugging it out. So hopefully we can generate some more interest in here, because this is one of their biggest feuds they could have with this within this company right now, within this show on Dynamite. And I think if done right, again, this could be another one for the history books, put up there with the top 10 best feuds if done right. So I don't know about
you, Cam, but it kind of just felt like it wasn't like a forced type of thing for me, but it just felt a little bit out of place with everything. I understand what they were trying to do with everything, but they were trying to do the getting one up on one another when they were just stomping the Young Bucks back and forth, which felt a little bit weird at that point. But then when they were just doing the forearms just to do the forearms, and then the backstage segment after on, like later on in the night, I understand what they're trying to do, but the implosion of what Okada and Takeshita should have been felt a lot bigger than this.
Yeah.
And to me, it just wasn't. So hopefully when they figure that out, and if we actually do get that match at Double or Nothing, like Don said, then we'll be at a bigger state and a bigger place for this feud to happen. But that remains to be seen.
I think we're definitely...
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But no, it just, to respond to what you had just said, to me, it just kind of, I get what you're saying. Like it not so much forced, but it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
It was just dropped. Like they just pulled the trigger. For me, it was kind of, it was kind of a relief, because this needed to happen a while ago. Just have them just slug it out and then be pulled apart. That's long overdue. It's just, I don't know. It's like the impact was weakened because they've waited so long for this to happen.
Okay.
So they're
yeah,
so
no,
they're
I
already
definitely see that there.
they're already kind of wasting time to get this ball rolling with this feud, because you have this last any longer, or 1 minute they're at each other's throats, the next minute Don is rallying them and putting them back together. People are not going to care ultimately when it does
Right.
break down, and this needs to feel important. This is an important step for both of them, the Don Callis family and Takeshita as a whole. So
Absolutely.
they definitely need to get some interest back into this thing.
I mean, they've also been dropping hints over the past couple months of this happening because of their hatred for each other in storylines. I mean, look at a couple weeks ago when they were both with Kyle Fletcher. I mean, 1 week, Okada is going to Kyle Fletcher saying our tag team was better. And then Takeshita and him were out partying in Australia, and Takeshita was left back because he partied too hard. But then Takeshita comes back and saying their tag team was better, like everything. All the little things, little droplets of things throughout the past couple months being dropped. We're pretty much like, we're going to do this. It's just all about when. When are we going to do this? The problem with the Don Callis family is they have their strong half of superstars, and then they have their weak half of superstars on their roster, because that's a 13, 14-man group, and obviously Okada and Takeshita are on the strong side of things. And
we talk about that all the time.
They were both off doing their own things. Now it's at the point where, okay, this is the perfect time to do it, because neither of them have anything important going on. So this is a perfect spot to do this and lay that little Easter egg. And yeah, Don Callis puts that thing down of, oh, if you guys, bust your ass and go out there and do your thing, then you guys can settle this thing at a Double or Nothing. Regardless of how they do things and what happens at Dynasty against the Young Bucks, this match is happening at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, this has to happen at Double or Nothing.
It is happening at Double or Nothing, because it's going to have its breaking point in the next coming weeks on Dynamite. Yeah. You got to think Double or Nothing is at the end of May. We are a month and like 2 weeks away from Double or Nothing.
Yeah,
it happens on Memorial Day weekend, so it's going to happen. It's just all about how they're going to proceed with this story. And I guarantee you it's going to be something just like we're seeing with Andrade right now. Andrade is not liking what he's seeing from Don Callis. He's not agreeing with a lot of the stuff, if anything, of what Don Callis is saying or doing. It seems like he wants to break away and be on his own, which most likely is going to happen.
Right.
And it's going to be the same thing with Takeshita. Takeshita is going to do the same thing up until the point we get to Double or Nothing.
Takeshita didn't agree with him tagging with Okada for Dynasty today. So, it's already starting.
Yeah. And Takeshita was the one to put his hand out first tonight. Like, shake your hand on this. Let's do this. But guarantee we get to that tag match on Sunday, Okada is going to try and one-up him so much.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
And I know we're going to talk about our predictions in a couple of minutes, but my view on this is Takeshita is going to get the win for them, and Okada is going to attack him afterwards, because Okada is going to be the one that wants to get the win.
Yeah. Next we saw a very well put together MJF video package. I mean, they went all the way back to the very first AEW pay-per-view, all in 2018, I do believe. I mean, it just detailing the entire history pretty much of MJF, his first world title win, him and Adam Cole, everything, and it was fantastic. So they're making this feel like an even bigger deal with him and Kenny Omega, and just their parallel paths, I guess, just in AEW up to this point. So very good, very well put together video package, and I think it just added a little bit more interest. I think even more so to their main event match at Dynasty. Jericho had a promo where I guess he was teasing that he was going to sign his AEW contract, his whole return, and then of course the Demand and Ricochet are the ones to interrupt him, and Jericho brings back the List, which we have not seen in probably 10 years or longer, and Ricochet is the first AEW superstar to be put on the Jericho List in AEW. And
a classic pen.
And what this means now we are going to see Chris Jericho versus Ricochet at Dynasty. So we have another match added tonight on Dynamite for Dynasty this Saturday. If you guys have anything on this, Phil, I'm going to start with you.
I did not mind this at all. Like, genuinely. Well, first of all, I don't care what anybody says. I think it's good to see Chris Jericho back in AEW. I do. Um, but I think ultimately what it boils down to is that Jericho, with him and the way that he just has to be used this time around, sparingly, and at the end of the day, just allow him to be him when the time calls for it. As long as he used sparingly and in the right kind of moments and in the right kind of directions, Jericho still has a lot to offer when it comes down to AEW. Now, him against Ricochet is something I just did not expect. But at the end of the day, I'm not completely upset by that because Ricochet is just an easy guy to have him go up against to get the right kind of crowd reaction that it looks like AEW is trying to get for Chris Jericho. You put him up against Ricochet, he's going to get cheered because people just don't like Ricochet. So if that's kind of just the ultimate goal of what they're trying to do with this, get Jericho over as that babyface until we get to the States, and then we'll figure out what the States have to say about Chris Jericho, then we'll see how that crowd reaction goes, because they're still in Canada, and obviously Canada just loves Jericho. So we'll see in terms of that regard. But overall, I did not mind this. The list popped me because I liked the list, and we'll see if that kind of sticks around. But if there's anything that Chris Jericho is obviously all about, is reinventing himself. Yeah, sure, he brought something back from 10 years ago, but I'm sure that's not the only thing that he is going to be doing in AEW for the remainder of whatever he's going to be doing here for the company. So we'll see how it all shapes out. But overall, not bad. I like this.
Yeah, it's not overall egregious, I guess you could say. This is just kind of easy, because Ricochet is just easy to hate. I mean, he's that easy heel that will easily just make Jericho look more over as the babyface in this equation. So it makes sense. I don't really think this match will necessarily blow anybody away,
right?
But it will serve its purpose. So yeah, why
I don't
not?
think it needs to either. This is just Jericho's first match back.
It's just his return match. It doesn't really matter.
And we'll just see how Jericho is. He looks great. Like, in terms of his actual physique, he looks fantastic.
He looks phenomenal.
So I mean, we'll
the
see
best shape
how it
he's been
actually
in
goes.
since being in AEW. So
I mean, that's what the guys in bands nowadays do. I mean, you go back to the 80s and 90s, metal and rock guys go from, partying. I'm just going to say partying. Okay. I'm just going to use that word and imagine whatever you want to imagine when it comes to partying. Okay.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Click it in our minds.
Let's just put it this way. We all assume that Tony Khan does some partying himself. But anyways, Chris Jericho tonight, I mean, number one, Chris, some of us just can't help it that we're bald. I mean, can't help it. Okay. Some of our hairlines don't agree with us, so being bald is sometimes, not the option. But anyways, yeah, great, good job by Chris Jericho tonight. I think this is the perfect return match for him. He even mentioned it. He's coming back to AEW to help build the future of AEW. Exactly what we talked about last week. Exactly. He came back to help build the future of AEW. And that's his focus. So this is part of it, because Ricochet is still, fairly young guy. I believe he's in his, he's like late 30s, he's at least 40, late 30s at least.
37.
Okay. So I'm older than him, so he could still help Ricochet kind of lead Ricochet in a better path through AEW. Maybe, Ricochet's been good on his own since coming in, but there's always something for somebody to learn. I said this to Cam the other day, that I learned something new from 1994 that you would have thought I would have known, but I didn't know. I learned it the other day. You learn something new every day. So that's something, there's something there that Ricochet could probably learn that he just never knew, or Chris Jericho could say, hey, you're doing this a little different than we do in AEW. Let me help you lead this way. but it's a great return match for Chris Jericho. Is it going to be a banger? Probably not. Is it going to wow everybody? Probably not, but it's perfect. It can be one of those come down matches after a big match. I mean, look what we're going to get with the Young Bucks and Takeshita and Okada. That match is going to be one of those explosive, high-flying matches. It's going to be grounded a little bit because of Okada, because Okada's not a high flyer. But if Jericho and Ricochet go on after them, that's going to be the come-down match. That's going to be the match to help people kind of come down from that high of everything we're going to get from that tag match, if that's how they place it. You know, but Chris Jericho, what he did tonight, the whole list thing, it was great. Ricochet's response of, oh, you go out there and do karaoke and be with your little band and everything like that. Then you come back after being gone for a year. Yeah. But Chris Jericho's in probably the best shape of the back end of his career. So I wouldn't underestimate Jericho at all in this match. And it's going to look good. I can guarantee you. This is probably going to be one of the better matches on the card too. And it's probably going to surprise a lot of people.
We'll see. That remains to be seen. We'll see. We already talked about this before, but the Bucks will face Takeshita and Okada in a tag team match at Dynasty. Takeshita made it clear that he wants the International Championship from Okada. So regardless of what Don Callis is talking about, this is definitely not going to be over between Takeshita and Okada until Takeshita defeats Okada for the International Championship. The last thing that I have on my notes in a brief rundown for the Go Home episode for Dynamite was Dorada took on Ciampa for the now vacant, as Kyle Fletcher has some sort of torn meniscus injury and had to vacate the TNT Championship. There will be a TNT Championship gauntlet, casino gauntlet at Dynasty. So for the first entry, for number one entry into that match, Dorada took on Ciampa tonight. Ciampa, of course, defeating Mascara Dorada. Okay match, I guess. Now, again, we're going to get into our predictions later, but I would say that is probably my pick. That's probably my prediction. There is Ciampa. Let's put the championship back on Ciampa and give him a proper run, because the run before was a handful of days.
He should have never lost it.
And he lost it. So I say put the title back on Ciampa and give him a proper run. That's my pick there. So if you guys have any thoughts on Ciampa picking up the number one entry into the casino gauntlet, please. Mike, I'm sorry with you.
It was given he was going to win this match and be the first entry. Number one, former TNT champion. Number two, he wasn't losing this match.
No,
he wasn't losing this match.
Right.
I actually have two picks. I have two picks to win the TNT title. And like you said, we're going to do our predictions in a couple of minutes, but I guess I could just throw these out here now. Ciampa's one of them, obviously. I mean, he's had his first run, which you said was a handful of days. You know, him getting the title back on him now would be perfect, and the perfect timing. There's another person that I could see winning this thing, and it would probably be a surprise to some people. It probably wouldn't be a surprise to some people, but that is Mark Briscoe. Where the fuck has he been? Where's he been?
He's been nowhere. He's been nowhere.
Would it surprise me? Wouldn't surprise me if he came back in this match and it came down to him and Ciampa. Like if it came down to him and Ciampa to decide who's going to win this match at Dynasty. So either Ciampa or Mark Briscoe. Because Mark Briscoe, even with the short run that he had, I mean, people loved it. People love the fact that he won this title, and it solidified his single stardom, because his whole career he was in a tag team and he was just trying to find his way as a singles guy, and it was working for him. But every time it was time to pull that trigger, they pulled him back. They finally pulled that trigger for him, but it wasn't the longest run. So one of two people to really think about: Ciampa, because he didn't have a big run his first time around, would be perfect for him to win it, or Mark Briscoe, who didn't have the long run himself, that would be perfect for him. Those are my two.
And I don't mind any of those two picks either, because either way, you can still have that be a feud for the TNT title, and no matter who the chaser is, it should still be a very good time.
Yep.
A very good time for that TNT title, which honestly needs a good feud like that to have be a backbone for it. So overall, that's not a bad pick at all.
Yeah, I really enjoyed I think the biggest thing, I really enjoyed the camo strap for Mark Briscoe. I just thought that was unique. So
yeah,
and it fit him perfectly. So
they always have
gentlemen,
those special straps for the title.
Yeah,
which is cool.
because Kyle Fletcher got a pink one. So yeah, they typically change the
Miro
strap.
did a great one with the green and white, which
Yep,
is cool.
he did. He did.
So
But that is all I got for you for Dynamite for the Go Home episode for Dynasty. Now getting into our Dynasty predictions. I'm gonna go out of order here. Just kind of mix it up a little bit. So the first match I'm gonna go with is Andrade El Idolo versus Darby Allin. Now, if Darby Allin wins this, he will win a future world championship match. I have no idea what that means because I don't know when would be a good time to have that, but regardless, he will win a future world championship match. Your predictions, who you got, Darby Allin or Andrade El Idolo? Mike, comes over with you.
This is probably one of the toughest matches to pick on the card because you can go with either one of these guys. But Phil, you made a lot of sense on something the other week, and I agreed with it because Darby Allin, a couple of months ago, he was being put in the prime position to win the AEW World Title. He was supposed to be the one to take it off of Moxley, and instead he chose to go climb a mountain. Now, I was talking to somebody about this, and he said, well, it's a greater feat for him to go climb that mountain than to win a championship that, you know, your storyline based to win. And I'm like, yeah, but he could have went and climbed that mountain at any time of his life. He could have done it in a year from now. He could have done it 2 years from now.
that's what I've been saying to people.
Instead, in the time that you are about to win a championship that you're being primed an opportunity to do, that you may never get a chance to do again. Because let's face it, Darby Allin, he's not the biggest guy. He puts his body on the line every time he gets in the ring. And would he be a believable world champion? Yes, but to an extent. He is pretty much this generation's Rey Mysterio when it comes to being a world champion. When Rey Mysterio won the world title when he did, it was believable because, you know, David versus Goliath and all that stuff. That's the situation Darby Allin would be in almost every defense. The question would be, how long does he hold it for? Because how much can he put up with? You know, this match can go either way because Darby Allin yet again is being put in that prime position of possibly going out and winning the world title. But you got Andrade, who's on such a hot streak right now. And I'm talking popularity with the fans, winning matches, possibly about to break away from the Don Callis family. Like, this is such a toss-up of a match to pick from. I gotta go with Darby Allin on this one. I got to. Because I feel like Andrade losing this match is not going to put him out of this situation. He is going to have other opportunities to have a shot at the AEW World Championship. I feel like if any time is the time for Darby Allin to win a number one contenders match and get a shot at the belt, it is now. Because any other time afterwards, it's going to be so hard to believe him being in an AEW World Title picture. So this is the time for Darby Allin to win now. So I'm going Darby Allin over Andrade because I believe Andrade is going to get more opportunities down the road.
Phil?
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I am going with Darby Allin mainly because if not now, when? For an AEW World Title shot for Darby Allin. Andrade, like Mike said, is he's still going to be fine in this loss here. If anything, this is going to help him more in terms of like him kind of casting away from the Don Callis family. To me, I think that's ultimately what that could be leading to. And if anything, in terms of where this world championship match takes place, I would not be shocked if this happens at Double or Nothing. I wouldn't be shocked because, I mean, why not? Like, at the end of the day, have that match be for Double or Nothing. Have that be, have that kind of stage be for a Darby Allin match, whether he wins or whether he loses at Double or Nothing at that point, to me, remains to be seen. Realistically, would not even matter because that is a big stage for him and the AEW World Title being on the line. Is it all in? No. Is it no. Yeah, that would have been the destination where he would have had the title at. Would it have been all in? No. But at the end of the day, Double or Nothing is still a big pay-per-view. for AEW.
Yes.
And it's, a solid match for the main event of a pay-per-view of a Double or Nothing. MJF versus Darby Allin would be perfect for that. So I'd say have the match be for there. And Andrade, he'll be fine in this loss. So give it to Darby Allin, and we'll get MJF and Darby at DON.
So, I mean, listening to both of you guys, I mean, yeah, no, I could definitely agree with a lot of what you both have said about this match. Now, initially, I'm looking at this. I would say during the course of Dynamite, after the 6-man, I just felt like there was just no possible way that in any world that I seen Darby Allin beating Andrade. Nor can I ever picture him getting really just a world title shot. I just don't see it. I think the moment has passed. I've said that plenty of times. That is until, and I didn't even write this down, but I have to bring it up now because it makes more sense. It's really going to bring home my point and my prediction for this match. There was a really good backstage promo that Darby cut.
Yes.
And it was probably his most emotion-filled promo he's ever made, and it really drove home the point of why he needs this and why he needs to win the AEW World Championship. So I liked it. I liked how he just addressed, like, people just think he doesn't care about anything, but it's a complete opposite. He actually cares too much. So that, I think that alone sold me on this. And really, it's not going to hurt Andrade, as Mike had said, because initially I think this is going to just drive more of a wedge. We've already kind of seen it between Andrade and Don Callis. He loses this match, and Andrade is just like, well, hey, I didn't want this match in the first place. I'm just doing your bidding because you made a deal with MJF, who I don't like anyways. I'm chasing the world title as well. So that's going to play a bigger role in that, in Andrade eventually leaving the Don Callis family. Right. And like I said, yeah, I'm fine with it. Like Darby chasing the world title, Darby being number one contender or getting a future world title shot. Sure. Is he going to be the guy to win it? No, I just don't see it. Again, I still believe the moment has passed him. But to be somebody to face MJF, who they've had pretty good matches in the past, I don't think Darby has beaten MJF yet. And I definitely think that's going to be said in dialogue form on the mic from MJF to Darby Allin. So that's going to also play a part in the role in their world title match at Double or Nothing. Fine, why not? So I could definitely see it. So I got to go with Darby Allin for sure. If Phil said, if not now, when? Probably never if they don't pull the trigger now. So yeah. The next match I'm going to go with the Continental Championship match, Jon Moxley versus Will Ospreay. I'll start with this one. I think again what they did tonight was a little bit random. But I get Ospreay's connection with United Empire and New Japan Pro Wrestling and things of that nature. But it kind of almost looked like they were almost going a like stadium stampede almost kind of match. It took away from the one-on-one with Ospreay and Moxley, and it made it just about the factions. It was weird. So and again, to me, the Continental Championship is an afterthought in all of this. It doesn't need to be on the line. But again, when Moxley is holding a championship, it probably should be on the line, because if it's not, I think that's just going to confuse people even more. So this is why Moxley doesn't need a title. He really does not need a championship. He has had tons of success with championships. He had one of the longest, I think he's up there, one of the longest reigning championship runs. So he's up there somewhere, I'm sure. He's had the most reigns. He's definitely on top of that list. He's had the most reigns. So he doesn't need a title for sure. So it's going to be very weird to have Ospreay win the Continental Championship. What are they going to do with that? I don't know. Maybe they're trying to make that title feel more important. Maybe they feel like Ospreay is the guy to do it. But then again, the question is now, how do you get the title off of him? Because the ultimate goal is the world title. So I'm going to go with Will Ospreay here though. Because Moxley shouldn't have won a Revolution. He shouldn't have retained a Revolution. He shouldn't have been the guy to beat Takeshita. It should have been the other way around. So they kind of, these weird decisions that they're making that just don't make any sense. It has to be Ospreay, unless they're going to run this back at Double or Nothing. For what reason? I don't know. They don't need to. I think this needs to be a one-off. This is just them cleaning up loose ends, having Ospreay come back. This is his real, first major feud coming back, and it makes sense because of the whole neck injury and things like that. So it needs to be a one-off thing, and then we move Ospreay on to bigger pressing matters. So I got to go with Will Ospreay. Phil, your prediction.
I was contemplating on this until I actually saw the finish of that match tonight where he pinned Moxley to win the actual match.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I hate to think the WWE logic way of this. I hate that. But it makes me think that Moxley has a chance of retaining the title here. It does. It makes me think that, and I'm actually going to go with that. I'm actually going to go with Will Ospreay losing his first pay-per-view match back since coming back from injury, because I said it once before and I'll say it again. First of all, like Cam said, the Continental Championship to me means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things with this. And you guys know where I stand and where I want Ospreay to go. So I'm not even realistically going to be going further into that because I've said it so many times on this goddamn show. You know where I am at. Ospreay loses, and that's fine. He's not going to lose anything in this loss. He doesn't need the Continental Championship.
No.
Moxley wins. It's fine. And if anything, if you want to run this match back, like let's say if you want to run this thing back, you have the Owen, whoever gets put into the Owen tournament, you can run this match back within the Owen and have him beat Moxley there, if anything.
That's a good point.
But I mean, like, and then again, the title would not be on the line in the Owen because it's the Owen and it's for a shot at the world title at the end of all of this for for All In. So you can put these two in the Owen and have Ospreay beat Moxley there. You don't need to have him win the Continental Championship. Give it to John Moxley at the pay-per-view.
It's a good point. I mean, like I said, I definitely like the Owen being incorporated in there. I don't know why I always forget about the Owen. I'm just like not thinking that far in advance for some reason. I don't know, but I'm
always thinking for the WrestleMania version of AEW because if they're going to be doing that, and if they are going to make All In their WrestleMania, and if they want to crown Ospreay as their guy at their WrestleMania, it's just gotta be that way.
Yeah.
So I always think of the Owen when it comes down to at least a Double or Nothing time because it's the most important thing at that current time.
Fair enough, Mike.
For their shows.
So I'm not picking anybody to win this match. Will Ospreay got his win tonight. Okay. What's one thing that AEW can do that they haven't done in a very long time that they still do, but they haven't done in a long time? Time limit draw.
I say count out.
Neither guy has to lose. Moxley still walks out as the Continental Champion, and Will Ospreay doesn't get a belt. Will Ospreay got his pin over Moxley tonight. Time limit draw. Simple way to figure it out. We still get a great match between these two for 30 minutes. And no confusion has to be made on what Will Ospreay is going to do with this championship if he wins it. And obviously, the favored end of it is, John Moxley still being champion because of the whole question of, well, what do you do with Will Ospreay if he wins this belt? When does he drop it? Who does he drop it to? I still don't believe that he's going to be fighting for the world title at All In. I have no belief in that. But that's nor here or there. We're talking about Dynasty. I'm not going with a winner. I'm going with a time limit draw. It figures everything out, and they can pull it off. Why? Because it's one of the major matches on the card. But if you put this match on first or second, who's going to remember this match at the end of the night? Who's even going to remember that this match ends in a time limit draw at the end of the night? You're going to have so much going on to where people are going to be like, oh, yeah, that's right. They fought and they went to a time limit draw. And that's going to be it. Could they run this back? Yeah, they can run it back. Could they run it back at Double or Nothing? Maybe. Could they run it back during the Owen? Could they run it back at All In? Could they run it back anywhere? Yes, they can. Does it have to be specifically for the Continental Championship? No. But there's a possibility it could as well. Hey, they can go to All In and that could be your main event. Like I said before, they're going to London. They're going to Wembley. And 1992, main event was for the Intercontinental title. wasn't for the world title, and British Bulldog won. So it doesn't necessarily mean Will Ospreay has to go to All In and win a world title. They could do this thing at All In and have him walk out as the Continental Champion. And that could be your main event. Would people be mad about it? Yeah, they would be. Of course they would be. Will Ospreay would still be in the main event in his hometown, in his home stadium, winning a championship, raising it high. Because I still don't believe that Will Ospreay is going to be in a world title match at All In.
We'll have to see.
If he was, he'd be in the world title picture by now. He's so mixed up in this thing with Moxley. And this thing ain't going to be over after Dynasty. It's not. So I'm saying time limit draw.
Fair enough. The next match I'm going to go with is for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, FTR versus Copeland and Christian. I'll start first with this. I mean, like I said, I don't know. I mean, this is where it starts getting tough for me. Because I feel like FTR could drop here. I'm surprised. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't lose to the Bucks at Revolution. To be honest, I think this match ends in a DQ. I think the Bucks somehow get involved in this, even though they have a match already on the card. I think they get involved in this, cause a DQ, and I think Double or Nothing. We get them again, but this time we get a 3-way tag team match. And like I said, Phil had predicted it too, that it possibly could be tables, ladders, and chairs for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. That remains to be seen. I don't know about. I don't know if they'll go that far, but definitely I could see a 3-way for the World Tag Team titles. Because it's just open ended. I don't think that the Bucks are just done with FTR, and especially after the way it just ended at Revolution. I just don't see it happening. So, and then like I said, you got Copeland and Christian coming out there, and they're just like gloating, like in their faces, that they got the World Tag Team title shot at Dynasty. I don't see that. I don't see the Bucks just letting that slide when they want to be in that position, when they want to win the World Tag Team titles.
Who gets the DQ win though? Who do they go after? FTR?
Probably. Well,
So
yeah,
FTR?
FTR. Because I mean, it wouldn't make sense to go after Copeland Christian. Copeland Christian have done nothing to the Bucks. So, yeah, probably FTR. So, and it causes a DQ. So, and we get triple threat at Double or Nothing. Get you guys' predictions on this. Mike, I'm starting with you.
Cam, you put up a good argument for a triple threat because they should have probably did a triple threat here. They should have.
Oh, they were.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with the Young Bucks distraction and getting involved, but part of me feels like they're going to have a finish opposed to a DQ. So I'm going to say FTR by finish, but because the Young Bucks end up coming down, getting involved, distractions happen, and FTR takes advantage of it. So I'm going to just go with FTR with the win on this and retain.
Well, just straight up clean win.
Yeah, because they'll get it off distraction. Like, not saying that this is necessarily going to happen, but like the Young Bucks come out and say Copeland gets distracted, and then FTR hits their finisher and picks up the win. Christian's on the outside, maybe arguing with the Bucks as well why this is happening, and yeah, FTR wins.
I like it. Phil?
I think we're going to go simple. I think I'm going to go kind of just not random booking, but I think I'm just going to go with like the simple route of just going with actually a Copeland Cage victory here. I'm going to go with the sentimental home win here. Not home, because obviously they're in Canada, so it's just that. But like I'm just gonna go with the home kind of victory here for Copeland Cage, only because I think with everything that's happening here, with the trajectory of the tag team titles, with the 2 other shows that we got here for Double or Nothing and then All In. Again, you guys know where I'm thinking for the All In situation. I think that triple threat just happens there. I do. But for Double or Nothing, obviously, the Young Bucks are still going to be a part of all of this. And I think that match could happen there with CNC taking on the Bucks. Obviously, that remains to be seen, but I think I'm just going to go with the sentimental hometown quote-unquote victory for CNC, and we get new tag team champions.
I like it. I wouldn't mind that either, honestly. Next, we're going to go with the AEW Women's World Championship. Tekla taking and defending her championship against Jamie Hayter. Phil, I'm start with you.
Tekla. Tekla. There's nothing against Jamie Hayter and all of this, but there's just a bigger stage for Tekla to lose the championship at this point. And say what you want about the woman, has she been a little bit iffy here and there? Yes. I'm not going to say that Tekla is perfect by any means. And Lord knows basically no wrestler in the goddamn universe is freaking near perfect. So, and you can't even put that onto anybody in terms of like leaving that kind of stratosphere on them. So she hasn't been perfect by any means, but I realistically do not think she's been as egregious as people say, as her being the champion of AEW for the world title scene. You got to keep it on her. You just got to see where she goes. And you just go with the hand that's dealt right now. There's a better person to take this title off of her, and it's not Jamie Hayter.
I definitely agree with you here. I think my prediction as well is also Tekla. Again, I've been one that has not really been the biggest fan of Tekla. I kind of liked her tonight, though. I don't know why. It just seemed a more focused, a more controlled Tekla. I don't know. So
she slowed down in her promo.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing for me. When she slows down and she actually kind of pronunciates things.
Yeah.
Like she can actually talk on the mic.
Yeah.
If people allow her to, and if people actually give her the good things to say. She was not bad tonight.
Yeah. So I don't know. She might be kind of growing on me. I don't know. But no, I'm definitely going Tekla here. I'm a huge fan of Jamie Hayter. I think I always have been.
Same.
But right now the singles thing is just not the focus. The Brawling Birds thing that she's got going right now with Alex Windsor, I think is fantastic.
Tag titles.
And that exactly. And that should be the focus. Tag team titles. And again, I'm still making my early predictions for All In. I think that would be a moment for them to win the women's tag team titles at All In. I think they're right now.
Match too.
I think right now they're building up steam, and they could be one of the most red hot women's tag teams in the company. I think right now. So I definitely would want to see them in this company and in this women's tag team champions as well.
I'd be so in for that match, Megan and Elena versus the Brawling Birds. I think that would be incredible.
Absolutely. We had lost Mike for a second.
My internet freaking kicked up on me for a second. I'm like, well, these guys don't have to worry because they'll still be live. But like my internet kind of kicked on me for a second. What the heck? Sorry, guys. So you're still talking Tekla, right?
Yes, Mike, your prediction for Tekla and Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tekla too. As much as I want to say Jamie Hayter because of something that me and Cam talked about off air, I got to go Tekla as well. Because what we talked about, Cam, I think it can work with Tekla as well. I think it could. So, and Jamie Hayter, being in this tag team with Alex Windsor, and they're so hot right now, and they should be set up to be in place for the women's tag team championships. I think they'd be a huge boost for that women's tag team division to put those titles on them. You don't have to make Jamie Hayter a double champion. Tekla could still be the world champion, and going into Double or Nothing, my prediction is a Mercedes Moné return at Dynasty. And her coming out after that women's world title match and going face to face with Tekla.
That'd be a moment.
Mercedes has been gone for so long. There's not much talk about her. People saying they miss her and whatnot. But if her music goes off, that place is gonna fucking pop.
Absolutely.
Like for sure.
And I honestly don't think we would realistically need that explanation of her turning babyface. I mean, the explanation is right there in front of us. She was just on her high horse because she was winning all these championships. She then went out and lost all these championships. She can easily come out on Dynamite and be like, look, I was just, on cloud nine. I was a champion everywhere you can imagine. And I got a little greedy and I got a little, stuck up about it. But taking some time off and really sitting back and seeing the bigger picture, she can go into the whole thing of, oh, this is why I fell in love with pro wrestling, yada, 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 pull the heartstrings of fans, and off to the races as a babyface she goes. Her and Tackle at Double or Nothing. So I got to go Tackle on this and a Mercedes return.
And it's not like she didn't care about it's not like she didn't care about the world of professional wrestling anyways. Yeah, sure, she won all these championships, but then again, guys, she also lost all these championships.
One of them she relinquished. Yeah.
One of them she had to relinquish, but yes, basically 12 out of 13 championships or however many she held, she lost. She put people over on the way.
Look at what Kenny Omega did when he was, winning championship. When he became the AEW World Champion, he went and won the TNA Championship. He went and won the IWGP World Championship. He was winning all these championships. And then after he lost every championship, he went away. He came back and he was loved.
Yeah.
No explanation whatsoever. He was just like, I was just kind of, in my own head and blah, 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 blah. Broke away from Don Callis, had his feud with Will Ospreay, and we were off to the races. Mercedes could do the same fucking thing.
For me, it's just like I said, this is just my preference. I think I am just a sucker sometimes for the slow burn into things.
I get it.
Yeah.
And when you add in the detail, the prime example is what you did with Darby tonight. That's what I'm talking about. When you add in emotion into these promos, it makes me care more to see the match. Before then, I was at like a mid-grade excitement for him and Andrade. I get what's on the line for Darby, but I don't care as much without the emotion. So with Mercedes coming back and being a babyface, for me, it's a rough transition because she was on this like Thanos egomaniacal run.
She was on such a high horse.
Yeah, with winning all these titles or whatever. So for me, it's like, you're going to have to do more than just, oh, woe is me, I lost all my titles. I have nothing now. So now I need another belt. Oh, I'm going to go after the women's world title. No, like I need something a little more.
I need to chase for Mercedes. I need to chase for Mercedes to get to that world title if she's going to be doing this, not just plug and play straight away for the world title.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think of it, though, since she's come into AEW, she's kind of been chasing.
Oh,
she just ended up winning other championships and getting.
I think he froze.
Mike
I think
froze.
He froze.
Still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
You're frozen, though.
Yes.
I don't hear him now anymore.
Michael, where'd you go? But anyways,
she's been chasing, but you got to continue it, I guess, for me.
I don't
know.
Go
ahead, you're good.
Going on. I don't. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
No,
it's
you're
kind
good.
of pissing me off.
You're fine now.
You guys ain't gonna lose your live. It's not gonna cut off on you guys. But I mean, again, we've seen this happen with other superstars where they win all these championships and everything like that. And Mercedes been on the chase for a while. She's had world title shots. She just hasn't pulled it out. So it's not like she's never been on the chase. She's been on this continuing chase. It just hasn't been really premiered because she's been defending other championships and fighting for other championships. So in realism, you think of it, she's been on the chase all this time. Really hasn't been shown that she's been on this chase.
I get that, but I'm just saying in terms of like a baby face side of things for Mercedes, because throughout the entire time as this belt collector that she's been that heel. And to me, yeah, sure. Like, to me, she's obvious, like absolutely a better heel than she is a baby face. And I don't like, that's just really not for up to debate with me. But like, if you're going to be this baby face now that she's coming back after all the championships that she has lost and basically been having the downfall of Mercedes Moné without realistically being on AEW programming, coming back to AEW programming, being all happy-go-lucky, saying, I lost all these championships, woe is me. Like Cam said, to me, that's just not good enough. If you're going to go after that world title, first of all, get back on here, get the people back on your side, not just like the cheap welcome back pop or anything like that. Get you back on your side, chase that world title, and go after it when that time is right.
Yeah.
That's just for me.
So yeah, that's just my preference. But like I said, obviously I think the obvious route here is to go Tekla and Mercedes, and Mercedes probably is the one to take the title off of Tekla. So I can see that coming.
Or All In. I know I'm saying All In a lot, but it's their
All In
thing.
is just their ultimate goal. I think. It's their
All
biggest
In is
show.
so
I know
far
I'm-
out. It is. It's the end of August. I mean, it's so far out.
It is, but it's still their ultimate
It's still
goal.
their biggest show, and that's
biggest
the
But we
only
still
thing
have-
to go off of.
We still have Double or Nothing in May. We got a pay-per-view in June.
It's
We're going to
not
have
big.
something in July. Like, there's
Double or
so
Nothing-
much
Double or
before
Nothing's
All
big.
In.
Double or Nothing's big.
It is.
It's
I
not
mean,
bigger than All In.
I get All In is their WrestleMania biggest event, whatever.
Yes.
But it's at the end of August. Like, we got a whole summer to go. Like, so much can happen between now and August 31st.
You know what that means
I'm
though?
sorry,
They-
I'm a
they need
long
to be-
term. I'm sorry,
You
I'm
know
a
what that
long
means though?
term
They
type
need
of
to
guy.
be building. They need to be building. They need to be building after Dynasty for All In.
I'm sorry, I'm a long term type of guy. That's just how I think when it comes down
Cam,
to this.
I wanna
Think how
ask-
you want.
Cam-
It's just
Cam-
that's long-term booking. That's
That's
what
what I'm
that
saying.
is.
Like,
Do you
like,
do you think this company has the capabilities to do that?
No, and that's the problem.
that's the reason
That's the
why I
issue.
do it for myself.
That's what
Okay.
they need to be doing, but they're not going to do it. That's just my thought.
That's the
I mean,
reason why I
don't get
do
me
it.
wrong. I love AEW. I've always loved AEW and the ups and downs and where we're at now today and everything. I love AEW. But even I'm here to knowing that they can't book from now to All In. Like, they can't book for All
They
In
won't.
at the beginning of fucking April. Like, that's no.
They won't.
Like, they're not even booking for Double or Nothing yet. Yeah, we got a taste of it tonight with
But
Takeshita
here's the
Okada,
thing.
but they're not booking for Double or Nothing yet.
Here's
So-
the thing. They should be thinking that way, though. They should be looking at All In and saying, look, this is what we want. This is what we want for the All In card. Now, how do we get there? Booking backwards is not always looked at as a bad thing.
It's not.
You see the destination, you see where you want to go. How do you get there?
But anything can change between now and then. Hell, look at the situation. Look at the situation we're currently in WWE with the Women's World Title on Raw.
Look at WrestleMania as a whole. Look how much of
As
that
a
card
whole.
had to change because of
Like,
injuries.
Yeah,
I
mean,
totally get it.
we
But
are.
they
yeah.
need to have the mind. I'm not saying after Dynasty they need to have a full card made for All In. That's ridiculous.
No.
I'm
yeah.
just saying you need to be laying out teases, sprinkle it in there. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have, like I said, you don't have to have it fully laid out, but sprinkle it in there, then lead into Double or Nothing. And then after that, you need to be getting serious about what the All In is going to be looking like. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting here 3-4 weeks out from All In when we
You're
get
going to be
there,
scrambling, trying
And-
to figure
right.
things out, and it's not going to
and
be
just
look
throwing
right.
crap together. And I don't want that.
Just
the
like
biggest show,
Gunther
they
and
need to
Seth
have a big
Rollins,
card.
up until that promo where Seth Rollins says, look, I don't even know where the hell this is going. But unless there's some sort of working relationship and then we got what we got there, you don't want to throw shit together. You should
Cam
know
called that,
what
by
you
the
want to
way.
do. And
Cam
then,
called that like a week ahead of time. He was like, "Watch it just be a working relationship." He
well,
called
I know
it.
that. I know that. I basically
he
said the
called-
same
he
thing
called it.
too.
Yeah.
But I was like saying, like, look, you should know where you want to go and then just have the building blocks to it.
But
It's really not that hard to figure out.
What I mean, though, is the situation we're in right now with Stephanie and Liv. Like, yeah, as of right now, Liv Morgan's good to go, but she's still in concussion protocol.
Both those ladies are, and man, oh man, was that rough.
Stephanie's not, but Liv and
Not
Roxanne.
Stephanie. I'm talking about Roxanne. Poor Roxanne in that whole entire situation. God damn.
But it's like, what if we get to next Wednesday, and they say, by the way, Liv Morgan's not cleared for WrestleMania.
Then
You're
I'd
going to
say
be
that's
scrambling.
not- at that
That's not,
point.
I don't think that's going to happen. Like
I
I
don't
said,
know.
I'm just
Could
saying.
happen.
the
I'm just
last
saying,
post I
anything
seen-
can happen between
anything can happen for sure.
Right.
now and
I
All
don't
In.
see that happening because the last post I just saw, Liv Morgan, she's already she just had like a knot on her head. She's already healing. It's already gone down.
She's got a bruise on it, but it's
So I
not
don't-
as
I really
big as
don't
a
think-
baseball as it was.
Just,
Yeah.
I
really
get
don't think
that.
that's gonna happen.
There's nothing wrong with booking backwards, but we are so far out from All In. Like we're not
Yep.
even halfway through
I
April
totally
yet,
understand it.
and we got May, June, July, and even the full month of August until we get there. Like yeah, it's not bad to even have your main event planned out. Like, this is what we want, so this is how we're going to get there. And this is what we're going to do through summertime. I get that. WWE is probably planning SummerSlam right now. They have WrestleMania planned out for next year already. They do. They have their main event planned for next year already. Their 2 main events. But anything can happen between now and then. You know, and
it's shown through this WrestleMania season. Like,
the show is going to go on, and they're gonna have to think on the fly.
Yeah.
And that could be one of the worst fucking situations to be in when you have to think on the fly if something happens.
Fair enough.
And like I get it. Like, the dead set right now of Will Ospreay being in the main event of All In. I get that. I understand where you're coming from with it. What happens is, and I'm knock on wood, it doesn't happen because I don't want to put that juju on Will Ospreay. What happens if he gets injured again? Now, then what?
Yeah.
Then what direction do you go?
And you pivot just like any other wrestling
But
company
here's the
should
thing:
do.
is some, like, we sit here and talk about the
Sorry,
world
but-
title. We sit here and talk about the world title picture of AEW, and yeah, sometimes it could be very, very cluttered with how many people are in. But you think about it, sometimes it's not a bad thing because, yeah, say we're supposed to get Will Ospreay and MJF at All In, but Ospreay goes down. Well, we had Darby Allin, we have Andrade, we have this guy, we have that guy in the mix. They have somebody to pick from because they're in the mix and they're in the story. So they'll be able to think on the fly and say, we're going to do this guy and this guy.
Yeah,
So-
no, like I said, I'm not saying it's a dead set thing that's going to happen, and who knows? Maybe it's not. Maybe they're not even thinking that far ahead. I don't know, but it just makes a lot of sense looking at it right now, looking at the field regarding the world title scene. So maybe they don't go that route at all. I don't know, but as Phil said, if that were to happen, knock on wood, then like I said, they have a lot of guys right now, circling the world title scene.
They put a lot of
They can
people
go
in that
with.
world title scene for a reason.
There you go. So there's a plan B, C, D, E, F, I'm sure in the work. So, but before we get into the rabbit hole of talking Double or Nothing or All In, which is 2 pay-per-views away,
Mm-hmm.
the next match I'm going to talk about is the Casino Gauntlet match for the AEW TNT Championship. The only man announced for this match really is Tommaso Ciampa. I'm sure there's going to be, I don't even know how many people are going to be in this match. 15,
I think it's
20,
21.
25.
I think they normally do it with 21, but
Never get
Yeah.
there.
you never get there. Right.
Could there be possibly a surprise debut in this? I don't know. Who knows what these Casino, Gauntlet matches? I don't know. Like I said, my
Ricochet
pick, right?
debuted in one of these.
He did. He definitely did. My pick, I would say, is Tommaso Ciampa. Again, like I said, it just makes sense. He really didn't have, like I said, a long run with the TNT Championship. Him coming in the door, so I think this is their opportunity to run that back and give him a proper run. I would think with the championship. Phil, I'm gonna start with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ciampa, and it's not just because he's literally the only person in this match that we know. It's not just because of that. I just, like you said, he held the championship for 12 days. That's not a proper run. That's not. And yeah, sure, he had some solid matches with that TNT title when he was the champion for those 12 days, but get Sylvie back around his waist. Let him actually hold that championship. Let him get that proper run and see where things go with him as the TNT champion. Going from a man in Kyle Fletcher to being vacant, then going to Tommaso Ciampa is not a bad thing for the TNT title. And if anything, Tommaso Ciampa can realistically get that TNT championship to somewhat of a prominent look, especially with whoever he does feud with, maybe a Mark Briscoe and whoever else they have lined up for him. So it's Ciampa.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm going Ciampa or Mark Briscoe, one of those two.
Fair enough. The next, I'm going with the tag team match. The Young Bucks taking on the Don Callis family, Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita. This one is kind of tough. I'm not really sure, what really happens with either of these tag teams post this match. I mean, I had talked about the Bucks possibly getting involved in the FTR and Copeland and Christian tag team title match. But is there really anything else that's really going to happen? Like I said, possibly one or the other, Takeshita or Okada, walks out on one another in this match and just leaves the other one for dead, pretty much, to the Young Bucks. And I think that's a prediction I'm going to go with. I think I'm going to have Okada walking out on Takeshita, leaving him to basically the Wolves, essentially, in this match. And I'm going to go with the Young Bucks to win this match. Mike, I'm sorry with you.
Yeah, I'm going to flip. I'm picking Okada to walk out on Takeshita.
I said Okada.
Oh, you did? I thought you said
Yeah.
Takeshita.
No,
sorry.
Okada.
Oh yeah, I'm going with you. I'm going with Okada walking out on Takeshita. It's gonna be who has the bigger what in this match between those two, and ultimately Okada just says fuck you and see ya. Flip him off like he did tonight and walk out on him, and that's gonna be the start, the true start to our way to Double or Nothing for these two. So I'm going with the Young Bucks on this.
Phil?
I'm actually going to go with them winning. I'm
Wow.
going to go with Takeshita and Okada winning only because I feel like after everything is all said and done with the Young Bucks, you get that brawl between them again. And because of that, because they work together just a bit enough just so that they can get the win for the Don Callis family, Don Callis is going to grant the wish that Takeshita wants, and that is Okada at Double or Nothing. The match is happening at Double or Nothing, one way or another, no matter who wins this thing, because it's gotta happen. But you get them to win here. You have it go to blows after the match, no matter who gets the pinfall actual victory between Okada and Takeshita. To me, that doesn't matter because the other person is just going to be upset anyway, attack the other, and then that's just how you blow things off until you get to Double or Nothing for the title match. And then if you want to extend this, you extend this, but it doesn't have to go. It doesn't technically have to go further than Double or Nothing, but we'll see.
The next match will be Chris Jericho taking on Ricochet. I really don't care, but I guess I'll go Jericho. I think this is his first big match back and on pay-per-view, so probably Chris Jericho. Again, this is just a good way to get him over as a babyface right now. And again, like I said it earlier, Ricochet is just easy to hate. Yeah. Plain and simple. They're not going to cheer Ricochet over Chris Jericho. Phil, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, it's Chris Jericho's match to win. And it just remains to be seen what Jericho's reaction will be like when we get back to the States. Of course, they're going to love him in Canada. Like, that's not realistically here or there. It's a matter of what realistically happens in the States. I understand at some points in time in professional wrestling, absence make the heart grow fonder, but it was Chris Jericho. And many people just simply did not like Chris Jericho in the final run that we had him here in AEW for. So we'll see how that goes. But this is Jericho's match to win. And Ricochet, whatever you think about the man, I guess he'd be fine in the loss because honestly, who really thinks he's winning this match anyway?
Mike?
Yeah, I'm going Jericho on this. There's no way he's losing this match. That's fucking no.
And then last but certainly not least, our main event, MJF taking on Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship. This is tough as well. It at one point I think felt like possibly Kenny Omega could be the guy to take the World Championship off of MJF. I personally don't want to see it. I really don't. Kenny's great in his own right, but I don't know if he's going to. I think personally he's going to work sort of this part-time-ish kind of schedule. Until, like I said, ultimately he calls it a career and leaves professional wrestling. So I really don't think he's going to really put in the work to be there every single week and be at all the pay-per-views and the special Dynamites defending the title. I just don't see that happening. So it's not going to be much of a run. I mean, we've seen we have seen some part-time world champions. I don't think Kenny Omega would be that bad, but it would probably be something similar. And I really don't want to see that. So I just don't see him going on much of a run given what he has kind of been through thus far and what he is the role or the schedule that he is kind of shrunken down right now. So, and like I said, right now, we said that we have sung the praises of MJF pretty much the entire year since him winning the World Championship at World's End in December. He's been on one hell of a run. I don't think I've seen a run like this probably ever. It's just been entertaining since he's won it, and it's been absolutely fantastic. He has been like the flag bearer for AEW in every interview. He's not insulting necessarily any other company, WWE or MLW, but he's like, hey, I'm their world champion. I am their representation. I'm trying to get eyes on the product. It's no disrespect to other companies, but I can assure you that what we're doing is better. So he's just great and professional at how he presents himself when he's in front of a camera in an interview, and he's great with his character and in the ring, out of the ring. It's just been fantastic. He might be just wrestler of the year. And I know me and Mike, we do our Table Spot Awards, and that's not until December. And I'm pretty much already making my wrestler of the year this early because I don't think it's going to change.
Yeah.
Really, I don't. And I personally don't want to see the reign end this soon. I still stick with it. I still stick with what I said before and just have him run the gauntlet of 2026 and not have him lose the title at all until maybe World's End December of 2026. I don't know, but that's just my thought process on it. I'm taking MJF. I think it would be a wrong move to take the title off him this soon. Mike, I'm sorry with you.
Yeah, I'm with you. I want to see MJF run till the end of 2026, maybe even to 2027. I don't want to see him lose this belt. I don't. He's doing too great of a job. I mean, like you said, even in interviews, I mean, he's entertaining to the fact of waving the flag for AEW. And yeah, he doesn't talk shit about other companies. He actually praises other companies.
He praises the WWE.
He does.
Whenever he talks about
and
it.
Still, be able to wave the flag. I mean, shit, the huge difference between his first interview with CVV, back in 2019 to now.
Oh God, yes.
Huge difference. I mean, back in that interview, he was ordering room service, eating eggs, offering him toast and all this stuff. To now they got the serious interview in.
Threw a piece of food at CVV. I mean,
Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, eating his eggs into the microphone. I mean, I have this thing to where I can't hear people eat
chewing,
chewing the mic. Yeah.
So,
Same.
But anyways, he's doing a great job, and there's no point to take the belt off of him at any time soon. And Dynasty, Double or Nothing, All In, whatever. No point, because he's doing a great job leading this company in the direction it needs to be in. And MJF does not need to lose the world title. Shit, like I said, even going into 2027, he can hold it, and it wouldn't get old. So I'm going MJF on this one. I'm not. Yeah, Kenny would be a good champion, I think. Would he be a good part-time champion? Still yet to be known. I mean, have there been good part-time champions out there in the past couple years? There have been, but face it. I mean, let's say Kenny Omega can't make it to a show that he's scheduled to be on, because of something else. That's taking the world title off of a show. And part of the reason why people go to shows is because they want to see the world champion. To have that experience. Like, there's people that go to, hey, they're going to be in Philly in May, and I'm trying to go to that for Dynamite and trying to take my nephew's never been to a wrestling show. My hope is for the world champion to be on that show if we go, because I want my nephew to be able to see the world champion, his first experience. And, if Kenny Omega is the champ, he's part-time and he's not there, then it's like, oh man, I feel like that experience was taken away. So MJF would be there. That's the thing. He's being promoted to be there. So MJF winning. Yeah. I don't see Kenny doing it.
Phil?
Every single thing that is on with the uptick of AEW right now is because MJF is the world champion. It is because this man is holding on to this world championship. It is because this man is doing everything when it comes down to the interviews and all of the stuff that has been the trajectory of him as the world champion is the reason why we're seeing AEW in this state right now. And nobody, I feel, can realistically dispute that. MJF has been the best thing for AEW, not just for this year, not just for last year, but pretty much ever since he has come on into the scene with AEW. His first run, now his second. This entire thing of him being the world champion is great for the company. And there's no reason why he should be losing this championship. I love Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega's fantastic and all. And I even love what they have kind of done here with the devil versus the god of professional wrestling. It's been a really solid feud. And honestly, even though we've had a short-ish kind of run with like the build for this entire thing, a little less than a month, we've still got some great stuff in this thing between MJF and Kenny Omega. The back and forth on the mic's been good. And at the end of the day, we have seen some really good things between Kenny and MJF. But is MJF ready to lose this championship? Not by a long shot. MJF retains at Dynasty.
Absolutely. And that is everything I got for you guys for this episode of The Boom. AEW Dynasty is this Saturday. Very excited to see that and what happens and see if our predictions are correct on that show. But that is all I got for you guys on 4/8/2026. Now it is time to plug yourself. Phil, where can we find you?
TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, PhillyMet _. You type it, you find it. I have been doing a lot of content over the course of the last couple of days, especially when it comes down to YouTube videos, when it comes down to just content in general. Live watch-alongs every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over on YouTube and on Twitch. So if you guys want to come on by, say hi during Raw, AEW Dynamite, and Friday Night SmackDown, along with other PLEs and pay-per-views that happen throughout the course of the week, come on by, say hi. We got a great community over there. Obviously, with WrestleMania, not this weekend, but next weekend, there's just a lot of stuff going on. You got Dynasty this weekend. I got a video coming out for Dynasty Predictions. I understand we did them here, but just for my sake of everything, I got to get that video out hopefully by Thursday. That's realistically what I'm thinking. And then we'll just see where things go. I'm hoping Collision does not add anything else. 9 is honestly perfectly tame for an AEW show. And now that I said that, we're probably going to add like 15 more. So we'll probably have like 25 by the time we get to Sunday. But just stay tuned, and everything on my social media is where you'll find me.
Definitely keep up with everything Phil has got going on. Good time over there and great content coming out of the chamber from Mr. Phil Khan. Mike, where can we find you?
Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok, Metal Mike 714. Still building YouTube channel. Every Monday night with Cam after Monday Night Raw for the table spot. We are going to be live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Monday for our WrestleMania predictions. Monday Night Raw just doesn't seem like it's really going to add anything to WrestleMania, seeing that WrestleMania is next weekend. So we're just going to jump right into our predictions. So we'll be live at 7 p.m. on Monday, opposed to after Monday Night Raw. Back here next Wednesday for the Boom after AEW Dynamite. And then on Tuesday night, let me go backwards here for a second. Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/The Huddle Podcast, youtube.com/@TheHuddlePod. I have to move the weekend show because I'm going to be working on Saturday. Now that I'm back to work, I'm going to be working on Saturday. So the Saturday show is being moved to Sunday at 11 a.m. And then the Tuesday show will be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, opposed to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, come join us as we talk about the UFL. Hopefully finish our March Madness tournament that was supposed to be finished a week ago. Hopefully we can finish that on Tuesday. And then I'm going to start putting out my mock drafts in the next week with the anticipation of the draft coming up. So, I'm going to be doing at least 2 versions of a mock draft. 1.0 should be coming out by next week.
And as far as I go, I'm right here every single Wednesday night with these two gentlemen talking about some AEW Dynamite, another episode of The Boom every single Wednesday night. And of course, right here again on the network every single Monday night with me and Metalcore Mike. This coming Monday, as Mike had said, we were doing our WrestleMania predictions. It should be a very busy week. WrestleMania weekend is just extremely busy. Predictions and just shows, independent shows, and WWE and AEW, everybody's just going insane. So it's going to be
glad I'm not going to
wild, absolutely wild next week. So this is pretty much the last kind of sort of tame week, I think, of wrestling until we get to next week and next weekend. So strap in, because we got a lot of content coming out for you guys, and we're going to do our best to cover it all. And then, of course, on my socials, follow me on Cam's Wrestling Corner, predictions, predictions for Dynasty obviously will be probably a little different than I did here. Mixing some things up. I don't really want to repeat myself necessarily. So prediction shows for that, or prediction video for that, I should say. And then of course WrestleMania Night 1, Night 2 should be out sometime next week before Saturday Night 1. So stay tuned for that as well. And that's about it. I might start posting on Threads too. I get a lot of traction on Threads too. So stay tuned for that. I will add all that next week probably. So I won't add it this. I won't add it this week or whatever. But yeah, I get a lot of traction on there as well too. So stay tuned for all that stuff. But that is all I got for you guys for this week. For again, 4-9, 4-8 was 4-9 now. 4-8 2026. Love and appreciate you guys come by and checking out the stream. As I always say at the end of every stream, love, peace, and prosperity, and we are out.